After looking through a lot of the group's presentations for the predator-prey investigation, I realized a lot of groups were not accessing the predator-prey methods document that was attached on Tuesday's Schoology page. I wanted to take a second to go through that document and then also explain what you are going to need to include on each of the methods slides. These slides are 3, 4, and 5. After watching this video and reviewing the predator-prey methods document, please go back to your presentation and add or change any information that you may need to, just so I know exactly what you and your group planned for your investigation. Looks like this. It's the one with the sheep at the top. It's called Predator-Prey Methods, and it breaks it down pretty clearly of what you need to include on each of your methods slides. So looking at your presentations, I'll click over here. Okay, this is obviously that guiding question, the question you're trying to answer in your investigation. The second slide goes over the 3 potential hypotheses. I created another video about this slide because a lot of people had a hard time filling this out. So if you were confused about this at all, please make sure that you go and check out that video to give a better explanation of what to include and why we are including this slide. So then your method slides are slides 3, 4, and 5. Notice how there is a question at the top of each slide. These correlate to the different sections on this document. Okay, so notice on slide number 3, the question is, what type of data will you collect? That question is right here. Okay, so this one aligns with slide number 3. The questions that you need to answer on this slide are the following. What is your independent variable? What will you be testing or comparing? How will you determine if the composition of the sheep and wolf populations change over time? What will serve as your dependent variable? What will you measure as an outcome? What type of measurements or observations will you need to record during your investigation? And then this next slide, which is slide number 4, the question is how you will collect your data. Okay, so you should have just answered those 4 questions on slide number 3. Moving on to slide number 4, how will you collect your data? You will answer the following questions. What will serve as a control condition? What types of experimental conditions will you need to set up and how will you do it? How many trials will you need to conduct? How long will you need to run the simulation during each trial? How often will you collect data and when will you do it? How will you keep track of the data you collect and how will you organize it? So all of those questions can be answered on slide number 4. And then we'll be moving on to slide number 5. This one says, how will you analyze your data? Notice how that aligns with this question right here. And you're going to answer the following questions. How will you determine if there is a difference between the different experimental conditions and the control condition? What type of calculations will you need to make? And what type of graph could you create to help make sense of your data? So if you did not include all of this information on those 3 slides, please go back and with your group, please answer these questions on each slide. If you are at home doing this, just leave a comment for your group members if you have any questions or you want to give them feedback. But in order to get full points, all of these questions must be answered on those 3 slides. Please message me if you have any questions. After you are done with your method section, you can move on to your data collection.